Oh, look at it.
That's pretty good.
Look at us go. Gold stars all around.
Just one short.
Robin, did you start the recording already? Thank you.
Joe Cowell.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was only supposed to take us 3, 4, 5 weeks. Here it is 3 months later.
It is 5 o'clock, Thursday, October 7th, 2021. Call this meeting of the GBC EDC to order. Roll call from my left, please.
Why we're here?
Roll here.
Lawrence here.
Simpson here.
Bond here.
Johannes here.
We have a quorum. Please stand and join me with the invocation and pledge. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here, try to handle some of this great city's business. We ask your patience with us, your blessings on everybody represented here and those that are unable to attend. Special blessings on our first responders and military. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome our esteemed mayor and Ms. Evans, Mr. Foster from the City Council. Thank you guys for showing up. Item 3, citizens' comments. Citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes. I have none in front of me. We have no citizens' comments. Thank you, Robin. Item 4, discuss and/or take action on adoption of minutes from the August 12th, 2021, August 30th, 2021, September 2nd, 2021, September 15th, 2021, and September 21st, 2021 meetings. Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes for the meetings from August 12th, 2021, August 30th, 2021, September 2nd, 2021, September 15th, 2021, and September 21st, 21 meetings.
I have a motion by Johannes. Do we have a second?
Kroll, second.
I have a second by Mr. Kroll. Thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, I want to discuss August finances.
What does he want? That's good.
Do you want to address your questions to, you have your discussion. Go ahead, Mr. Rowe.
Yeah, on our August finances, I was looking here, down through here where it's under utilities, we have nothing, everything's zero on utilities for that month. Did we not get no utility bills or anything under that? That's 54,000.
Are you talking about the financials?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're not to
not.
that yet.
Oh,
This
I'm
is
sorry.
minutes.
This is approving.
The minutes.
Oh, the minutes, I'm
Minutes.
sorry.
So we're talking about the minutes for 5 meetings, August 12th, 30th, September 2nd, 15th, and 21st.
Right.
Any discussion on the minutes?
No discussion on minutes, sorry about that.
Okay. Hearing no discussion, we'll move to accept the minutes as presented. We'll change it, or have that motion be take action to accept those minutes. Vote from my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 5, discuss and/or take action on adoption of August financials. Do I have a motion?
Discuss and take actions to approve the August financials.
Okay, motion by Mr. Wyrick. Do I have a second?
Simpson, second.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Simpson.
Okay, motion and second. Open for discussion.
On, back to where I was at on that there, under utilities, we have zero under utilities. Under the rental, we have zero under rental for last month. The other question that I'm having, I'm wanting to find out, what is the government capital? What is that? And also the, let's see, what else? Government capital and card services center. What are those?
Card services is the credit card.
You gonna go from the first?
Where are you, hon?
Okay, we'll start out up here under the utilities, under,
What page are you
Are
on,
you
Mr.
on
Wright?
Page
this is
numbers on the bottom.
page 1.
Of the unaudited statement?
Yeah, under page 1, 54,000 utilities.
Okay, there's actually more than one page one, so what does it say at the bottom of the page you are looking at?
Utility statements. It's right at the front, four pages back from the front.
4 pages back from the front. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right in the middle of the page says utilities,
Yeah.
0 for August.
Yeah, I'm looking at the next page.
I'm assuming that's just a calendar issue, nothing fell due that month, is that correct?
As near as I can figure, we pay $750 in rent on the first of every month, and we get a utility bill from Mickey at the city. It varies from month to month. We don't pay water separately from our rent.
Okay.
How about rental? Facility rental? Is that 700, seven something we pay each month to the city?
750.
750, shouldn't it be on there?
I'm assuming nothing got paid that month, maybe it was just a lapse in the due dates or something?
I would have to research it.
Brandy, do you have an answer to that?
So looking at the reconciliation detail from starting in August,
191.
there's nothing there yet.
I would anticipate a double dip next month, possibly. If these are all
Yeah,
zero.
I would too. We have a payment September 1st.
That's the last one I see.
That's the last one I see.
Yeah.
Just may not have hit.
So I don't see a check to the city for August 1st.
Ron, to address the government capital.
But I see one for July 30th.
Maybe it just hit early.
So I think it hit early.
It looks like it hit early
It
at the
hit
end of
early.
July, and then
Okay.
it didn't show for the August account statement, Ron. So the payment hit the bank earlier before August 1st, so it shows up as a July payment, but it was for August 1st rent.
Oh, okay, so it's
That's
basically
what-
showing twice in July then, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's-
well, you don't, I can't go back. I always have July in front of me, so.
Yeah, that's what Brandy was saying, so.
Brandy, Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, government capital is the loan that we made on the Big Chief property?
Yes, they prepared that loan, and then we make our payments back to Southside Bank. There's a $5,000 check that we paid for a closing fee, and then we got our loan auto-deposited into the bank, and we'll pay it back to Southside.
Okay.
Mr. Wyatt, does that answer your questions, or do you have further?
Yes, sir. On that one there. Let's see, what was that?
Okay, further discussion?
What is, I got another one down here. You got David Skange down here for a check. What is that for?
Is that
Covered the meal
$115
for
or
us
something?
to have the education session at Vitoni's.
What,
It's a reimbursement.
for 40, that $44 reimbursement?
No,
No.
There's 115 reimbursement.
that 150 was the reimbursement for that meal. The 40, oh, he took the guy from Hilton and YNS Development to a meal.
Actually, YNS invited me and Hilton go to meet with them one evening, and they called me about 3 o'clock, wanted to meet at 5 o'clock. I don't let people pay for my meals because as mayor, I don't want to be attached to anybody, so I ended up paying for our meals. And that was for their meals. I didn't eat that night, so.
And I was aware of that.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
Okay, that credit card services,
What about it?
what is credit card services? Because I'm looking,
It's a credit card.
yeah, because I'm just looking at, one month it was over $1,000-something dollars, now it's down to like $200-something dollars.
That's because we keep paying it.
That varies with what Robin needs to put on it.
Okay.
The meal would have been on that.
Okay.
Our training and things like that. That's a check written every month that is approved and signed by 2 of the board members, 2 of the signatories. So that's all looked at.
Okay, that answers my question, thank y'all.
That said, we'll move to any further discussion. We'll move to vote on the acceptance of the adoption of the August financials. Vote from my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 6, discuss and/or take action on the election and seating of officers for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. The way this is going to work is I am going to start item 6. I will finish item 6, at which time the new president will take over this meeting, beginning with item 7. I will complete item 6 before I step down. I am stepping down from the office of president after this item because I'm moving out of the county, out of the city and out of the county, and I'm no longer eligible to be on this board. I will caution everyone that once I open the floor to nominations, we're going to vote on president first because that is an office that's definitely going to be vacant. I will be turning in my letter of resignation within a week or two as soon as we get the signatories from item 6 and item 7 resolved and the bank signers signed the new cards so that we can continue to cut checks. So I will be resigning within a week or two, as soon as I can. And once I open the floor to nominations, if there is one nominee, I will ask that nominee if they accept that nomination. If they accept that nomination, that will serve as the second. If they refuse that nomination, then nominations will move on to, or will continue to leave the floor open for nominations. If a person is nominated and they accept that nomination, the floor is still open for nominations. If you have further nominations, please make them. The only thing that can close that is I can close it after a period of time, or I will accept a motion to close the nominations. That said, those are kind of the ground rules. Is there any questions, or does anybody have any comments? Hearing none, we will move on. And on item 6, I will be stepping down as president, leaving that office vacant. We will vote on every office tonight. So for the office of president, do I have?
I'm going to make a motion.
I'm sorry?
I want to make a motion, Keith Bounds for president.
a nomination? You're nominating Keith Bond. Mr. Bond, do you accept that nomination?
I would accept it.
Okay, I have a motion and nomination and acceptance. Are there further nominations for the office of president?
I'd like to nominate Diane Johannes for president.
Mr. Honest, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I'll accept the nomination for president.
Okay. Are there further nominations? Hearing none, nominations close. Mr. Bond, you were nominated first. I will give you the opportunity to speak if you would care to. I will limit that to 3 minutes. At the end of that 3 minutes, I'll give Mr. Honest the opportunity to speak if she'd care to. At the end of that 3 minutes, I'll open the floor to questions from the board to either or both. Mr. Bond, would you care to comment?
Yes, I'd just like to say that I understand that I'm new here. I came to the EDC with no agenda other than trying to better Gun Barrel City. I'm a fast learner. My true interest is Gun Barrel City and the future of it. I see it moving forward into very good ways. We're keeping the small town charm, but we've got to expand. That's a given. We've got a lot of projects and a lot of things going on. I've been a civil servant. I was a civil servant all my life in my career. I currently serve on a board of a POA. It's different, but it has similarities. I'm retired. I have plenty of time I could devote to this position. I thank you for the consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Bond. Ms. Johannes, would you care to comment?
Sure. I've counted it an honor to serve on the EDC for the last 2 years. When I came on the EDC, my desire and passion was and still remains to see the city of Gun Barrel be able to provide opportunities for employment and for growth and development that will enhance the community that we all live in and call home. My background is I was an elected official for 12 years and was responsible for taking care of a budget of over $300 million annually. I've also served on numerous committees from value adjustment boards, looking at what property tax assessment should be, for example. And my desire still remains the same. I've spent the last few months serving as the vice president of the board, and I've taken that very seriously. I realize that it's not necessarily what I want, but it is what the board should want and what we should see that we want to do as a whole. And so no personal agendas, of course, always. And so if I'm chosen, that'll be wonderful. I'll appreciate the opportunity. So that's my heart for the city of Gun Barrel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Honest. I'll open the floor to questions for either or both candidate.
I got a question to both y'all. And either one of you could take it, whichever wants to go to first. We've had here in the past where we've called meetings and people haven't showed up and presidents haven't showed up and everything else. And I'm looking at a person we put in there hopefully will be around here and able to make meetings and be able to be here where we bring a board in here and board sits here and not wasted our time coming up here and all. So with that said, I'd like to know y'all's comments on that there.
Certainly respect the time of the board and the other board members. And I believe the only meeting I missed was one that I thought had been canceled a couple weeks ago. I had gotten an invite on my calendar and then it was removed. So I was mistakenly not at that meeting. And as soon as I realized it, I let Robin know. But of course, by that point, on that date, we had already realized there wasn't a quorum. But other than that, my schedule, what's going on with the EDC is the first thing that's in my schedule every month. And so, I understand what it is to sit here and not have everybody here. Been here and done that many times. So certainly understand your comments, Mr. Wyrick.
Mr. Bond, would you?
Well, I'll have to start off by the very first meeting that I was supposed to attend. I had the time mixed up. I thought it started at 6, but it started at 5. And I, fortunately enough, didn't break any laws getting here, but was able to make it within about 15 minutes. Since then, I've tried to be early. I understand scheduling can be a problem, but I was at that meeting and things happen. So I would, the EDC is in my calendar. It's got the correct time now. And I try to be here at least 10, if not 15 minutes early each time. And I will continue that.
Okay. Any further questions for the candidates? Hearing none, we will vote on Mr. Bond first, as he was the first nominee. If he receives 4 votes, which is a majority, he will be president. If he receives 3, 4, and 3 against, it will be a tie. We will then move to Ms. Johannes. If she receives 4, she will be elected. If she receives 3, it will be a tie. In the event there is a tie, I'm reminding you again, I am resigning. I will appoint Ms. Johannes president. Since she is vice president, she will be stepping up. Mr. Mayor, in your opinion, would that be an interim appointment until there are 7 board members so there can be a tiebreaker, or would that be a full-term appointment? Maybe we address that if we have the situation.
Yeah, I think we address that if we have a situation. My first instinct is that you would vote again and see if there was a change.
Okay.
And if you continue to reach a deadlock after multiple tries, then I think that what you stated would be the correct procedure to go until we vote again.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions for either candidate? Hearing none, Mr. Bond was first nominated. We will vote yea or nay for Mr. Bond for the office of president. Vote from my left, please.
Yay.
Nay.
Yea.
Nay.
Yay.
Nay?
Ms. Johnson, did you say nay?
Yes, I said nay.
Okay, that is 3-3. That is a tie. We will move on to Ms. Johannes for president. Vote from my left, please.
Nay.
Yes.
Nay.
Yay.
Yay.
Let's do that yes and no. I'm having a hard time understanding that. Vote from my left, yes or no? Mr. White?
No.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
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 Okay, Ms. Johannes, you are the new president. Congratulations. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Make sure you get to the bank and sign the signature card so I can quit. That vacates the office of vice president. I will now open the floor to nominations for vice president. Please understand when you're nominating that the vice president needs to understand and accept everything and work with the president and be ready to move up to the office of president, fill that on an interim basis until the next election, and hopefully take over for years to come. So with that said, I'll open the floor for nominations for vice president.
Simpson, I would like to nominate Keith Bond for vice president.
Mr. Bond, do you accept that nomination?
I will accept that.
Thank you. Are there other nominations for the office of vice president? Hearing none, we can either vote or I can accept a motion that we place Mr. Bond in as vice president by acclamation.
Make a motion, we accept Keith Bond as vice president.
By acclamation. Do I have a second?
Kroll second.
I have a motion and a second. Thank you, Mr. Ware. Mr. Kroll, vote from my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes unanimously. We will move on to the office of Secretary. Brandy is currently Secretary and Treasurer. Those are separate offices. I will entertain a motion for nomination for Secretary or for Secretary Treasurer. Opening the floor for nomination for Secretary or Secretary Treasurer.
I nominate Brandy to remain the Secretary Treasurer at this time.
Brandy, do you accept that nomination?
I accept.
Okay, any further nominations? Hearing none, I will accept a motion to appoint Brandy as, or vote Brandy in as the Secretary Treasurer by acclamation. Do I have that motion?
Kroll motion.
Motion by Kroll, do I have a second?
Second.
And second by Mr. Wyrick. Vote for my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Thank you. That concludes item number 6. To move to item number 7, I will turn this meeting over to Ms. Johannes, our new president. Welcome, Diane.
Thanks, Mr. Lawrence. Before you go, I'd like to just take a moment to thank you for your service to the EDC. It's been a pleasure to serve with you and see your passion for our city and your leadership in our meetings that we've had, and we certainly hate to see you go. We're excited for you and your family, as I know that this was a move that you didn't anticipate based on some conversation, but something that's going to be a great opportunity, not just for you and your wife, but for your kids and grandkids. So that's always a great move, and I wish you the best in that and lots of health and happiness. So thank you so much.
I'll let you have this seat.
Yeah, let's see. I have a lot more to move. I should have packed a small suitcase. I don't know, I bet you do. Okay. All right, back to the agenda. Item 7 is discuss and take action on assigning 4 signatories if there are fewer than 4 officers. So do I have a motion to discuss or take action on this item?
Make a motion that we assign the president, and the minutes will need to reflect this, the president, Diane, the secretary treasurer, Brandy, the vice president, Keith, and a 4th party to be named as signatories. The president is the main signer. The secretary treasurer, the treasurer actually, is the secondary signer. The vice president and the other signatory would be backup signers. So my motion is to appoint by name the president, the vice president, the treasurer, and 1 additional person. And I will nominate Mr. Wyrick in that position to be signers on the accounts.
Okay, you have heard the motion from Mr. Lawrence to appoint, to assign, as he stated, the president as the main signature, the vice president as the second, and then the secretary treasurer as the backup, and then Mr. Wyrick as the 4th signator as a backup. Do I have a second for this motion?
Bond, second.
Okay?
I have an amendment to that motion, if I could.
Okay.
At the time that the signers go to the bank, it is imperative that either the president, and the minutes need to reflect this, either the president or the treasurer remove any former board members, specifically Mr. Kyle, from the electronic correspondence from the banks, and appoint that position to be forwarded to the treasurer, in this case, Brandy, with her GBC EDC email. That is an amendment to this motion.
Okay, the amendment as stated by Mr. Lawrence is that we remove Mr. Kyle from receiving any information regarding the EDC's bank accounts and also that he not receive, be able to inquire about those, and that those transactions and email communications or whatever it is would be sent to Brandy.
Actually, Madam President, if I could, let me make that a little more generic.
Okay?
Remove anyone that is not on this board. The problem is, I don't know with the different banks who gets what.
Gotcha.
And until either the new president or the treasurer goes down there and digs into it, I think you're going to continue to have challenges. So I would say my motion would be to remove any non-board member and replace them with the treasurer in any electronic correspondence.
Okay, with the amendment reworded, it is to remove anyone who's not currently on the EDC board, and that all communication would be sent to the treasurer, and at the time right now, that is Brandy. Okay, and we had a second
Yeah.
from Mr. Bond, I believe, was that correct?
Correct.
And are you okay with that amendment?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, all right. We've
Mr.
heard-
I'll
President,
still second it.
Okay, any discussion?
I just want to make one real fast one here. And, I would recommend all the signatures that are going to be up there now to change everything, that maybe we can sit down and get an appointment with the banks, and we'll try to do all this as a group at one time and not do it as individual times to do it. This way we can get this all straightened out at one time. There won't be no differences with the banks of different ones going up there at the time and signing, that we try to set it up to where we'd all go in at the same time and do all our signatures at the same time at each bank as a group and get all this taken care of at one time instead of shuffling it through there one or two at a time or whatever.
As good of an idea as that is, it is my opinion, you'll never get everybody together at the same time. The way this has to work is if someone does not have an account at the specific banks, Prosperity and Southside, they will need to go in and have them take 2 forms of ID, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a time-consuming setup in itself. Then they can prepare the signatory cards. At that time, then everybody can sign the signatory cards. But if y'all want to do it as a group, you can, but it's kind of a two-step process for people like the president and probably Keith that don't have accounts at both of those banks.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Lawrence. So, any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will vote for my left.
Wyrick, yes?
Kroll, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
Okay, motion approved. Okay, moving to item 8, discuss and take action on city contracts renewing. Motion to approve the annual lease agreement with the city of Gun Barrel City and the property maintenance agreement for Big Chief Landing and the Church Street property. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the annual lease agreement with the city of Gun Barrel City and the property maintenance agreement for Big Chief Landing and the Church Street property.
Okay, the motion is to take action. And do I have a second?
Kroll, second.
Second, any discussion?
Discussion?
Mr.
Yeah.
Wyrick?
Yeah, here, I agree on all this here. Well, we got another piece of property down there now. It's tied into this. It's not figured into on this.
The Church Street?
Well, yeah, we have another piece of property down there. It's not figured in on Big Chief Landing.
Right, and that's why it's listing Church Street. Mayor, you might want, or Robin, one of y'all can correct me here.
Yes.
I believe that the way the maintenance agreement is written now, Church Street is included, and the price has not increased. Is that correct?
Church Street is over by the park.
Yeah,
But it's included in the maintenance agreement
It
now.
is, but the Big Chief Landing property we just bought, that's next to the liquor store, is not included in that agreement.
Ah, okay.
So
that's what, and, yeah, I just wanted to bring, and two, other thing I want to throw out here, combining both of these together, if the property, well, I don't know how it's going to keep going. Are we going to keep paying from now till doomsday on taking care of the properties and all this, or is it going to be turned over to the corporation?
it would be turned over to the Pier 334 project, and they would take
Okay,
over maintenance.
What time are we gonna turn this over to them and not have to be paying this no more?
I
See,
don't
so-
know yet.
See, so that's something we.
Once ground is broken,
Yeah,
but
we
I
need,
don't
we
know
need,
that
you know,
yet.
we're setting a budget right now. Okay, we got another piece of property that's not in on this agreement that needs to be in it too. So, as far as the rental and all here in Bronner Hall, or not Bronner, here in City Hall, there's no problem with that one there, but the other one, the contract with the mowing and all that there, to take care of all that, that needs to be upgraded. And I guess, I won't say brought back to us with the other piece of property added into it.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Warwick, if I understand you correctly, what you're proposing is not to pay to have the contract renewed. If you don't pay to have the contract renewed, we'll be happy to write EDC a ticket for not mowing the property. That's up to y'all. I mean, I don't know what your problem is here, because this is something we've been doing for quite some time, and it's been working just real well. But if y'all want to go back and hire someone else to mow that property at $1,200 a month, more than what you're paying the city, go right ahead. But if you don't pay somebody to mow it, and you need to come up to that terms pretty quick, then you can receive a ticket for not mowing the property. And I don't think that's what this EDC wants.
Well, Mr. Mayor, that's not what we're here to try to get. We're just wanting to since we're
It's here to renew the contract,
renew the contract.
mow the property.
Okay, to renew the contract, mow all the property down there on Big Chief Landing that we own now, is just gonna be $10,000. It's not gonna be added on for the new property, right? That's all I'm asking, is how much more is it gonna be that we can make sure that we
know, that'd have been-
put in our books, how much it's gonna, that we're gonna be paying y'all.
I
That's all.
believe-
There's no, we're just making sure our books are right here, you know?
No,
We're
you're not.
I mean.
You're not.
We're with y'all to pay it. And
You're
do it
not.
all.
That's not what you're trying to do at all.
What are we trying to do?
You are trying to convolute the situation in a public meeting when you've been asked numerous times if you have questions like this. Let's get them addressed before the meeting so that people can come together and read the contract. I don't have the contract in front of me to read what it says. But my understanding of this contract is to mow Big Chief and Church Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's all that you're looking at. It has nothing to do with the rest of the property that y'all own. It has to do with those properties there.
And it's an agreement for 1 year, so.
It's an agreement for 1
It's
year.
not for indefinite.
But there is no problem with if YNS takes over Big Chief for that to stop and them to maintain it. That's not a problem. That's probably,
I don't see any problem either way. The only deal is I was saying we need to add one more piece onto this contract. That's all
No,
it
sir.
is. And
No, sir.
you went berserk here on me about writing tickets to us and everything else now, Mayor.
you don't add pieces of property onto a contract in a meeting. You've got to have multiple people agree to that contract. If you want to promote a new contract, then that would be something that you should do prior to the meeting and let the EDC director come to the city manager and work out the cost, because we're not going to, it's not going to be the same amount of money, Ron.
I know it, but we just got this thing here 2 days. I just got this thing 2 days ago and read over it. And you know, whenever you read over a contract
Well, it
and
was
it's
ready
not
Friday.
in there, the
I
only
got my
time you
copy
can
of
bring
it
it up
Friday.
right now, you want to pass a contract.
Well, you've had it 2 days. It doesn't take, I mean, that's still better than bringing it up here in the meeting. But my point is that what's being discussed here, and Madam President, what's on the agenda here is to renew the annual lease agreement with the City of Gumbel City and property maintenance agreement for Big Chief Landing and Church Street. It has nothing to do with the other property.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the maintenance contract last year was just for Big Chief. Is that correct? No, it was both? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's the same price we agreed to last year. We originally appropriated $12,000, I believe, for this. City came back and dropped it to 10. So this is exactly what we've done before. Right. Now that we have a new property, to the mayor's point, we will have to make some kind of arrangements for that as well. This contract is the same as we had last year.
Exactly.
Yes.
That will have to go before the city manager. City manager will have to go to the street department. The street department will have to go down and take a look at it and come back and tell the EDC what they think, and then y'all can negotiate what that price would be, and I'll be happy with whatever it is. It doesn't make me any difference. What does make me a difference is to play these games where we're bringing up this stuff at a meeting. I'm very much against doing that. I'm very much against getting your questions answered prior to the meeting instead of playing gotchas. That's rude behavior, and it's just something I do not agree with. And to not approve the contract, that's perfectly fine too, if that's what this board wants to do, but there's consequences in all actions. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'm learning.
Yes, sir.
So we can agree to this contract.
Yes, sir.
Robin can go get with the city, and in the next meeting, we can have an amendment to this agreement that adds that other property to it. Is that feasible?
That's feasible, or having another contract altogether.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way. Both are perfectly logical solutions to this problem.
Okay, that just helps me in my learning.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I will speak in favor of this motion since it is exactly what we did last year.
Yes.
I have every confidence that at the point in time that we turn over Big Chief, and we're not responsible for the maintenance and mowing, that the street department and the city would be willing to work with us and renegotiate this contract and cut the price down considerably.
So Robin, we had a motion and a second, and then we went to discussion, correct? Okay, so the motion stands as it was presented, and Mr. Wyrick, do you have any other questions? Okay. All right, so having no more questions, no more discussion, let's vote for my left.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Johannes, yes?
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
Okay, motion carries. Thank you so much. All right, item number 9 says take action to reimburse the city for consultant fees paid monthly until a new ED is hired. Anyone want to make a motion about this so we can discuss it?
I'll move to discuss and/or take action to reimburse the city for consultant fees paid monthly until a new executive director is hired, assuming that, Robin, you have some explanation on that?
Yes.
Of
Do
what
we
it is?
have cost association, or Mr. Mayor, do we have information on the city, who the consultant fees are going to be paid to and the organization? So let's let the mayor take that one. Thanks, Robin.
Yes, thank you. Council voted in our meeting a month or so ago to hire a consultant to take care of the Big Chief project, and they gave me the authority to reach out and interview consultants, called a few of them. We ended up with HDL. The fee for them, I believe, is $200 an hour, which at a max of $2,500 a month, I believe. And so far, we haven't reached our $2,500 a month yet. I can tell you that Robin and I have had some discussion. I'm going to go back to council. Well, let me finish this up. So the way this came about with council making the motion and approving me to do that, then we went ahead and contracted with HDL. After that fact, we figured out that we're paying for services that the EDC is receiving, and that doesn't fit well with the city. We can pay for it, but we have to be reimbursed for it. So it'd be an actual reimbursement of what we've paid. And they're billing us, is it monthly or biweekly? Monthly. Billing us monthly. So we paid last month, and we got a bill yesterday or the day before for a period of time. But again, what I was going to get to, those needs to be taken care of. I'm going to ask for Robin to come to the next council meeting and talk with council about the services and see if these services are being beneficial to us, or if we just as well off going with the attorney's advice. So, and we'll have that discussion with council. So this may be a short-term thing, but we felt like, given YNS's project at Big Chief, we didn't want to lose any steps with that. We wanted some professional economic development advice, and the gentleman who's head of the economic development for HDL is our consultant. He's been on the phone with Robin several times. In case y'all aren't aware, I've backed away from that. Council allowed me not to be part of that anymore. So I'm backed away from that so I could serve as, just serve as mayor for it. So Robin's dealing with HDL, she's dealing with Jeff Moore, the attorney. And like I say, it's a situation I need to talk over with the council before it comes back to you guys. But right now, that's what we're at, is that city's paying them and we need to be reimbursed from the EDC.
So, Mr. Mayor, just to make sure that I understand, the job description of the person that is doing this right now, what are we or what did we sign up for them to do exactly?
They're reviewing all the performance agreements and the different agreements that are coming out of YNS. They've agreed to all the contracts. They've gone on over everything that has been signed by the board or at a previous time, and to just make sure that we're all everybody's on the right track and that we have some fundamental questions answered to make sure that we've dotted our I's and crossed our T's on this project. That's what they have done up till now. And that's what we've asked them to do up till now.
Okay, and the difference in what you just explained and what the attorney is supposed to be doing is what?
Not much. That's why I
Okay.
want to go back to talk to
So for
council.
double dipping for the same service, then
That's
we
kinda
need
what
to
we're-
extinguish one, would be in my
Yeah.
opinion, but it's
Yeah,
just.
I'm looking at it from that standpoint. Now, I will say that what we are getting from them is a good advice on economic development as far as how this grows. And I guess the best way to put it would be where the money comes from in the future when the development's finished and things of that nature. So we have gotten some of that from them that we don't get from Mr. Moore. It's also a good check and balance because some of this that we've done has been unusual in economic development. And Jeff has worked his way through all of it. I mean, you know, he is the top EDC attorney in the state. So, but nonetheless, it's good for us to have conversations. And I would say probably where the consultant has come in the best is that he's asked some tough questions that possibly Robin and I don't know to ask.
Right.
And
okay.
so those get answered by Jeff, so that things that we don't think about. And that's kind of what we needed, was somebody that could ask those type questions.
Right. So right now, I know that you said $200 an hour, and so it's no more than $2,500 a month. How much?
Correct, and he charges us by the minute, so it's not like it's, you know, it's not like it's $200 every time we talk to him. Robin has a call with him every Monday morning, and that call hasn't lasted more than probably 15 minutes yet, has it? Yeah.
So for this first time that we're going to be reimbursing the city, do we have an exact amount that we're reimbursing the city that we're agreeing to, or we're just saying up to $2,500?
Up to $2,500 until we
Okay,
get it,
and-
until we resolve it.
Okay, and discussion obviously open to the board, but if I understand the highlights of what you said that he's providing that the attorney doesn't necessarily provide. So maybe in the discussion as we reevaluate, we could look at, can we lower the scope so that when we are reaching out to this person, we could make it smaller? Or, I mean, how do we decide what they're going to get to see and not see?
Right. Good question, and this is what I need to talk to council about, because council's, the night that some decisions were made, there were a lot of decisions made. One was the ED was no longer here, and the other was, what do we do about this project? So those decisions were made right then. So council needs to come back and say, okay, we've experienced a period of time, this is what we've gotten, is this what we want? And then bring it back to you guys, and let's work together on it at that point in time. But at the point in time everything happened, it was just kind of in the mode of, this is something we need to take care of. And so
Yeah,
that's what we did.
I can understand the
And I will
urgency.
also, just for y'all's input, and this will save me from having to come back up on item number 11, since it is part of the same topic. The consulting firm that we've hired to find an ED has assured me that it's a 4-month process, and we're about a month deep into that process. So we're looking at another 3 months before we do the interviews and hire the person, and then it'll be whenever they can start at that point in time. So
Okay.
at the most, this would go on for, I guess my point being, the most this would probably go on for would be another 3 months, if it continued on with HDL. But I seriously don't know if council's going to want to continue it on or not after they visit with Robin. So
Okay, further questions or discussion from the board?
Madam President, I'd like to, there's not a second on the motion yet, so as such, I'd like to revise my motion to approve to reimburse the city for consultant fees paid monthly, with the realization that this is going to possibly extend for several months, so that you don't have to vote on this every month until council makes a decision to stop or limit those services, but until that point that we reimburse the city as they turn in these amounts on a monthly basis.
Okay, so the motion is made by Mr. Lawrence. He has adjusted it to say that we will pay the consultant fees for up to $2,500, not to exceed $2,500 monthly, until the city council decides yes or no if we're going to continue these services. Okay, do I have a second?
Kroll, second.
Carl, second. And do I have more discussion?
Second.
No more discussion?
Oh, no discussion, no.
All right, we'll vote from my left then.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
Okay, motion carries. All right, item 10 is discuss, take action on organizational meeting document from Steve Haynes.
This document, our attorney has advised us not to sign it, so I would like to take it off of the agenda. I don't know the procedure for that.
Motion to table?
You want to table?
Yes.
Basis.
Okay, we have a motion to table by.
Actually, are you removing it or tabling it temporarily?
Removing it, we're not able to sign the document, but we are able to proceed with our project just on the performance agreement we've already executed.
Then you can remove it on her recommendation.
Okay, based on Robin's recommendation, we will remove this item from our agenda, and there will be no action taken on it. Okay? All right. Item 11. Mr. Mayor, do you have any further comments that you did not make the last time you made comments?
Shouldn't have sat down.
I do have
His
one,
steps.
and that is, I personally would like to thank Mr. Lawrence for his service. It's been a trying time, and he has stuck in very well and done a very good job in a hard time to get it done. So I do appreciate your service. I do appreciate what you've done. I'm sorry that we're going to lose you as a citizen. I didn't realize that you were moving totally out of the county, but I wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for what you have done. And I would like to congratulate the new officers and look forward to working with all of you in the near as we progress and as we grow. And I will tell you, and one other thing I was going to tell you, but, well, there's a lot more, but it can't be shared just yet. I didn't get the final word on any of it, but there is a lot going on in this city. And our growth is going to be painful because there's going to be a lot of it, but there is a lot going on in this city. And so with that thought in mind, I would ask that y'all scrutinize over every project that you do, because there's other large growth projects that are in the pipe that we may not be able to talk about for now another 6 months or a year, but there are some things out there that are promising. And so I'm looking forward to seeing those come to fruition. I can tell you right now, though, there's always something large coming, and it never does show up, it seems time. So I don't know if these will show up or not. We're still waiting for Brahms. But by the way, Brahms did tell us this week that, we're still on the radar. They still plan on coming here. We just don't know when. So
Awesome.
But they'll have to buy more permits. They've already bought permits once. They let them expire. So hopefully they'll go back into the building mode again. But again, thank you, Joe, for what you've done, and congratulations to the new officers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right. Item number 12 is we'd like to thank Mr. Lawrence for his service to the EDC and our community as well. Robin?
I just wanted to say a heartfelt thanks along with everyone else and wish you all the best. We have
Thank you.
a small gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
Let's give him a hand. Okay, at this time, item 13 is to adjourn to executive session. The time that we're adjourning is 5:53, and we have two items that we'll be discussing in closed session: deliberations on economic development negotiations and deliberations on real property. So at this time, we will adjourn and then we will come back when we are finished.
Madam President, you need
Yes.
to invite the guests.
Oh, yes, and so our guests that are supposed to be in the executive session may come back with us. You guys-
We'd like to invite the mayor and the city council
Yes,
members.
and the city council and the mayor as well.
Eve and Stephen.
And Stephen even. Okay, Robin, would you please let the minutes reflect that we are reconvening the Thursday, October 7th, 2021, 5 PM meeting of the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation at 7:08 PM. Okay. Coming back from executive session, the first item of our discussion was on deliberations on economic development negotiations. There was no action required as a result of our meeting tonight. That was just presentation and update. Moving to the next item that we were discussing, which was deliberations on real property. The item on the agenda now would read as follows: the purchase of Lot LT1 AB 488 TS Mitchell, Sir, Sandy Shores number 4, Block 4, Lot 1 for $85,000. Do I have a motion?
Simpson, motion to purchase Lot 1, AB 488 from the T.S. Mitchell Survey, Sandy Shores number 4, Block 4, Lot 1, for $85,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Kroll. Okay. Any discussion? We did all that there, but, okay. And we'll vote from my left.
Wyrick, yes.
Kroll, yes.
Johannes, yes?
Simpson, yes.
Bond, yes.
Lawrence, yes?
All right, and the motion carries. Congratulations, Robin. You can let them know that. And at this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All right, Wyrick to adjourn. Thanks, guys.